Bitcoin is more than just a digital asset. It is, of course, fast becoming a cornerstone of global economic strategy. From mining to monetary policy, the United States is at a pivotal moment in defining its own crypto future, especially under President Donald Trump. Here to talk much more about it is Eric Trump, co-founder and chief strategy officer at American Bitcoin. Eric, welcome. Good to have you here today.
JD, it's great to be on, my friend.
So, big picture for folks at home who don't know, what exactly is American Bitcoin and why did you decide to launch it now?
So American Bitcoin, we're one of the largest mining companies anywhere in the world. We mine all our Bitcoin in West Texas. We have some of the cheapest energy in the country. We're mining at roughly 50% of spot prices on Bitcoin right now, and incredibly successful company. And so we do that on one side of it, and then we have the strategy concept on the other, where we're actively acquiring BTC all the time, and have done some major raises, and we'll continue obviously to treasury it. I believe in the asset as much as I believe in anything. And a lot of it came out of us obviously getting canceled and deplatformed by so many banks. And I found the crypto guys, and there is no better hedge against hard assets, which is what I do every single day. I really do crypto and I do hard assets, but I really believe that cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, is the greatest hedge against hard assets that there is. And I can tell you, I spend a lot of time in every country around the world. I have a lot of hotels in development, and everywhere I go, every sovereign wealth fund, every big company, every major family, every Fortune 500 company, you're seeing how many of them are kind of starting to treasury crypto assets. Everybody's intrigued, everybody's buying, everybody's hoarding, and I think really crypto's in its infancy right now. And I think the run that you're going to have over the next 2, 3, 5, 10 years is going to be unlike anything that we've ever seen.
Eric, not to get too off topic, but by the way, those banks from the debanked, the unbanked era, I have a sneaking suspicion they're singing a little bit of a different tune for you these days. Is that a fair assessment of 2025 so far?
JD, you're a smart guy here. I can tell you that every single one of them, I'll be careful the language I use because we're on TV, but yeah, they're all, interestingly kissing our what's right now. And I'll never forget, like Capital One was the worst one. I had 300 bank accounts. These are every commercial building, residential buildings, golf courses, condominium associations. I got a letter in the middle of the night, congratulations, all your accounts are hereby canceled, and go find somebody else. And I never thought that would bring me into the crypto world, and I quickly realized that there's nothing that's done by the big banks that can't be done better, cheaper, faster, and more transparently, using blockchain technology. And frankly, I don't think a lot of those big banks should be around. I mean, waiting 120 days to get a mortgage, you and your wife, you want to go out, you want to get a mortgage, you want to borrow money. Waiting 120 days for a bank that you banked with for 25 years to approve a mortgage, not being able to send out a swift wire transfer on a Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock, and you try, it's not going to get there until Monday or Tuesday of the next week. This is antiquated stuff, and honestly, everything in crypto changes that. And by the way, the fact that America's living, we're winning this revolution in the world. Everybody wants to be where we are right now, and it's great to see America is winning the financial revolution. It's exactly what we need to be doing.
Eric, tell me about the partnership with Hut 8 on this specifically, and what you feel that relationship, that collaboration brings to the table.
Yeah. So we were told by NASDAQ we're the fastest people to ever come to market. We came to market with American Bitcoin, and I wanted to go into data centers, and obviously, Hut 8's our sister company, and they're amazing at the data center world, and they're amazing at the power generation world. And so American Bitcoin is focused on single-handedly mining Bitcoin. That's our only concept. And obviously our sister company, Hut 8 is focused on the data centers, the energy transmission, the energy sources, power. And so it's the greatest marriage you could possibly imagine. But as I said before, we're mining BTC at roughly 50% of today's value of BTC. And we're mining it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're one of the largest miners anywhere in the world. Our Vega site is the largest site under one roof dedicated to mining Bitcoin on Earth. Really, really incredible. But the obviously the relationship is incredible. When you have the energy contracts, when you have the actual facilities that you can plug into, and by the way, when you can share SG&A, so many things that have plagued the miners traditionally has been, high SG&A. We hardly have any SG&A. And the reason for that on a relative basis, and the reason for it is we really kind of run two sister companies run by the same people. Which massively offsets cost structure and has been fantastic. But I really think if you look, forward a couple of years, I really believe we're building truly one of the great crypto companies. We're listed, as I said, on the NASDAQ. It's ABTC is the ticker. I think we have the coolest ticker, by the way, in all of the markets, right? American Bitcoin. How much better does ABTC get? I think it's actually the first ticker on the entire NASDAQ. And And we're really excited about the company. It's been unbelievably how successful it's been.
Without a doubt, the ticker symbol kind of rolls off the tongue there very naturally. To the treasury component, it's a really interesting conversation, Eric. Maybe more of a crowded space than people had expected a couple years ago. You got Michael Saylor and the team at MicroStrategy, and then you
Sure.
got other sort of non-intuitive companies that are also sort of going the treasury route. That includes companies like GameStop,
Yeah.
even Tesla with Elon Musk. What do you think most makes ABTC stand out from those
And by the
other
way,
firms?
including Truth Social, and obviously, my family has a massive holding in that, and believe in that with everything we have. But I think the difference is, and by the way, Michael is one of my closest friends. I've known Michael for 25 years. I knew Michael long before he ever got into the Bitcoin game. And Michael begged me to get into it. He's like, you got to take Trump Org public. You've got to take out every bit of debt. You've got to go out and buy BTC. And I go, I've never had like a friend actively ask me to compete against them in an industry. And that's the guy Michael is. I mean, Michael is a dear friend of mine and is a fantastic person. I think the way we approach it a little bit differently is we clearly believe in his model. His model has been amazing. I mean, amazing on every front. I believe in it with every ounce of my heart and soul. The difference is we can also every single day go out and mine, an asset for 50% of its spot value, and we're doing it 24 hours a day. So as people, I mean, with so many of these companies, as they go in, they want to buy BTC. They're buying it at market values every single day. We might go in and we might buy and we might hold and we might run the same strategy model. The only difference is on this side, we're coming in and every day we're mining it, which means we're actually dollar cost averaging down our holdings every single day. So we're actually increasing the amount of Bitcoin per share to our consumer. That's our goal every single day. And so I think we have a huge advantage in that our cost to bring Bitcoin in should theoretically be substantially lower than their cost based on the fact that we can bring it in at values that they couldn't based on the fact that we have some of the lowest energy costs. We've got the mining operations, and we're spitting out BTC every minute. Right now, our machines are mining Bitcoin, and they're the most efficient in the world, the most efficient water-cooled machines in the world, and we're compounding that every single day.
Yeah, and it's doing it here in the United States. What is the national security component about all of this to you, especially being able to onshore it in the state of Texas?
Well, listen, it's everything. I mean, we've got the best energy, we've got the best natural gas, we've got the best wind power, we've got the best everything, and so obviously we utilize that. We've got the lowest energy rates. Go try and mine Bitcoin in in Scotland. Go try and mine Bitcoin in the UK. Good luck. Each Bitcoin will cost you 400 grand to do. I mean, we're lucky. We've got energy policy in this country that's incredibly favorable, and we've got the best energy resources anywhere on earth. But beyond that, I want your viewers to understand. Everybody in the world wants Bitcoin right now. And I know this because I talk to all the sovereign wealth funds, and we know many of the big families, and I know most of the people in industry. And for the first time, you have this asset that it's not, you're no longer just going through DeFi rails in order to get it. Now, congratulations, you have every one of the ETFs. You've got American Bitcoin. You have Schwab that's going to start custodying it. You have Fidelity that just popped up their digital asset wallet. So everybody who has a Fidelity 401k, or anybody who has a Fidelity account, which is like 30% of the 401ks or 40% of the 401ks in the country. I literally clicked into mine the other day and it says, congratulations, would you like to create a Fidelity digital asset wallet? I hit yes. And all of a sudden you're in the crypto game, right? You see what JP Morgan's doing with it. You obviously see Coinbase and their incredible success. You see Kraken, their incredible success. You see Robinhood and their incredible success. For the first time, it's really easy to access cryptocurrencies, whether it's in the traditional equity markets, whether it's on the exchanges, whether it's through your traditional banks, which are all beginning to custody it, or whether it's through proper CeFi and DeFi channels that you had before. And so, right now, cryptocurrency is growing faster than the internet did in 1999. That's roughly where we are equivalent to. I'm telling you, if you look back in 3, 5, 10 years, everything's going to be on stable coins, things that can move hundreds of millions of dollars around the earth instantaneously at virtually no fees. Bitcoin is truly one of the great asset classes ever. I mean, it's an asset class that over the last 10 years has gone up 70% a year over year. I don't think there's been any asset class that's outperformed, BTC and crypto. And it's also generational. I mean, I can't tell you how many kids are coming into it young. They love the meme coins and things like that. Maybe projects that are a lot less serious, but all of a sudden it's really getting them into digital finance. I hope to God that we can put some of the big banks that did to me and did to you and did to so many people who believe in crypto. I hope we can put some of these guys out of business because what they did was wrong. They targeted so many Americans. And I hope by doing that, we can also make finance faster, cheaper, more transparent, more user-friendly. I hope in 5 years, no one has to wait 120 days to get a loan when they've got assets X the value of the actual home they're buying, all because some bank wants you to push KYCs, know your customer forms, antiquated forms through antiquated portals. My biggest dream, and this is right around the corner, this is going to happen. You're going to be able to open up a DeFi or CeFi app. You're going to be able to get the money in 5 minutes, and you're going to go buy the house that you and your spouse always dreamed of. That's right there, and finance is going to be better for it.
Eric, I'm about out of time. If I could sneak in this last one, what do you say to anyone who still wonders if crypto is too volatile or is concerned that maybe they missed the boat, maybe they missed the party, and they're saying, Bitcoin's already off and running, already hit 125. I missed my shot.
Well, you know, it crushes me because I had so many friends last year. I was saying, buy Bitcoin. 2 years ago, buy Bitcoin. And, you know, Bitcoin at the time was 45, 50,000, 45,000, and they didn't buy it. And then they were saying, no, it's too expensive. I'm going to wait for it to come down. And then guess what? It ran to 80. And then I said, buy it. And they didn't buy it. And then guess what? It ran to 100. And then I said, buy it. And congratulations, it ran to 125. You know, you can sit on the sidelines for the rest of your life. And, you know, what do you want to be invested in? You know, treasuries? You know, do you want to get 4% yields? Listen, you're going to have more volatility. And at the same time, you're going to have greater returns. And you've seen that. You've probably had 6x volatility, 5x volatility, and you've probably had 6, 7, 8 times returns. And buy BTC, buy cryptocurrency, close your eyes for 5 years, and I really do believe you're going to be rewarded in a massive, massive way.
Man, it is a fascinating time to have these conversations. I hope you will rejoin us as the general cryptocurrency conversation continues to take over, because we are talking about this stuff in a way different way than we did even a few years ago. I only expect that to continue. Eric Trump is the co-founder and chief strategy officer at American Bitcoin, ABTC. Eric, thank you.
Thanks, JD.